Pantheon is really, I think, the X factor here in this draft for BNK because it will have a lot of rotational power. They don't have a strong side lane champion to play through, though, because they're playing through the Rumble, so it's a little bit more about the setup.
BNK FEARX against T1. I was really expecting one of the T1 fans to randomly screech as well, as I'm going to have to hold that thought, as Vickler is dying. Idea as to what's going on here, but already Oner comes through, and they get the flash through. That is so beautiful from Keria, sets it up with the flash prediction, and down goes Diablo.
No, good try, buddy. Vickler's face.
And now this bottom lane is just up a creek that they don't like without a paddle. However, that is going to be the first kill going over to BNK. Now Raptor is going to find Faker trying to make his way back, and there is the orb once again. Faker shifts the sands once more, and the spear does go wide. And so a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Level 6, they're going to try for something.
Yeah, Kellen moving over here. I don't know about this one, as Wild Growth is available. Lantern can be taken here as the Flame Chompers go down, as Vickler possibly a target here for Faker. No flash. Shockwave comes in onto 3 as the hook is going to connect. Vickler is definitely dead, but can they keep fighting? The answer is no, as Oner just dashes forward still. Diablo finding the damage. Moonlight Vigil to take down the Xin Zhao, and now Keria is looking for him. Red White Guns come in, but he doesn't find the hook, and Diablo's able to run amok in the fight. Faker able to take the Lantern out. And so I do really like the BNK composition. We were talking before about how they've had a lot of synergy success as Hook is going to come down. Diablo just walks into it. Pace has to flash. Diablo cannot follow, but Keria is definitely dead. As Raptor has it charged up. Hayes in a bit of trouble. The flash from Kellen! Help Pix to take the kill.
All right, but we're still going.
Oh dear. Hayes has just made his way back and has now lost half of his health already, and now he's dead. Diablo is given a kill! There we go. BNK now moved to 6-3, 2.5k gold advantage.
There may be a bit of a bell curve in terms of us having a game and then not having a game that may be occurring. We may be close to not having a game again, Atlas, just in the other direction.
Oh no, that's true. We need to stay in the sweet spot. Stay in the okay, T1, make something happen here as Faker gets the flash down. The Ram comes through as well as Diablo's knocked up in the game. It's coming back. It's coming back. Well, Faker's going to be able to pick up that kill. Kellen is going down as well, and T1 move back towards the driver's seat. As Paze cannot catch a break, man. It's just he's trying to get to a mini wave. As Keria is likely dead. The box did come on through, but Raptor will have some more buttons available, and there it is. Now Oner's come on over, though, and no more flash here for Raptor as Teleport brings the Rumble to the bottom lane, and Paze is going to come over and try and grab the kill, but it is Oner that picks that one up.
I'm amazed to hold up Paze.
That's Moonlight Vigil that comes down, grabbing him, comes on through there, and the Pantheon is going to come down, and yeah, there was no room for a Lantern.
Yeah, Diablo.
Extra something. This is going to be the first rate going over to BNK, and we have a Mountain Soul this game as well. If T1 get that, that would be pretty scary. But same for BNK.
You know, we talked about how much of a game we have here.
Evolution happening of the video game.
Yeah, we're back to this is not a game at all situation here because Paze can't play the game anymore, and Diablo has taken a significant lead. Obviously, the call is about to cash in, and that's going to get even bigger. Those that next wave if they're going to go for this. Vickler does have TP.
There could be a teleport angle here. We'll just have to see whether they do go for it. And it looks like the answer is going to be no. Clear is just dead. Oner tanks up the turret quite a lot, but he is absolutely fine as Diablo is behind this turret. And it's all about cross-map here for BNK. They're like, we do not care about you killing our top laner if we can take the mid lane outer turret as well as the top lane outer.
All plates going over. And
where did the grubs go, by the way? The grubs just kind of went
now.
Oh dear.
This is a crazy TP.
Yeah, let's see whether this one's going to work out as Clear makes his way in. Now Raptor gets on top. That's going to be the Shockwave onto 1 as Oner trying to get himself out of there. There is Clear dying though to Paze. Paze actually getting some more money here as now Raptor could be taken down as well. A bridge too far perhaps, but now Diablo's able to get that damage through. Super Mega Death Rocket though to answer, and now Diablo's frontlining. I'm not sure about this one as he needs as many Gravitums as he can. The flash over was so sexy from Diablo, finds the Moonlight Vigil, and Paze shuts him down. T1 will find the team fight in the end, but it looked pretty cool on BNK's side.
T1 are going to take this dragon. It's their second of the game, which will put them at just a simple 1 dragon lead here at 19 minutes. But that's a lot of map control taken away from BNK despite those early turrets that went down.
And also there is a lot of standing gold here for T1. Structures are just going to go down, and that gold lead could balloon, as now Doran's possibly in trouble. He's looking to try and turn this into a bit of an engage, though. Finds the flash forward, Shockwave, just to try and keep Diablo alive. It gets the autos down, Faker is taken out, but they are able to answer with the whole bottom lane being destroyed. Raptor with the Aegis, not able to get it done, and Pays, yeah, he's excited now, able to take down his arch nemesis in Raptor on the Pantheon, and 3 already dead in trade for Faker. Clear going to follow. Hook, of course, is going to connect. He's going to start doling out even more as Pays. Oh dear, he was on the map again. That's problematic.
Yeah, he was almost near his inner turret, and Raptor was like, that's just not enough. That's not enough.
That's why I said he was in the dangerous spot, which is on the map.
Yeah, he wasn't in the base, so... which is arguably not safe at this point either with the Sped Pantheon. And they're just going to start the Baron.
Yeah.
Oner does have flash.
I mean, there's a lot of damage onto this as well, as BNK trying to get rid of the vision. T1 not wanting to give this one up, as now Oner going to get engaged on here by Clear. He's the one that needs to be there for the smite, so if Clear can actually get him out of here, that could be a big deal, as the hook is going to connect, and Keria is going to look to try and take down Clear, but now Faker's in trouble. Polymorphed, and Diablo will be able to find the kill before anything's really happened. Clear is going to get traded, and now the Baron is down exceptionally low. Oner still has a health bar, though, and he gets into the pit. It is going to be secured by Raptor, but down goes the Aphelios, and now Vikler is trying to kill Keria. He might be able to do so, as the hook doesn't land, and Raptor is able to get himself out of there. BNK somehow find the team fight. I say somehow, I mean, T1 had to fight without their Jinx, but still, I mean, that was a mess until it was fine. In the end, as BNK are going to even out the Drakes. Oh, goodness, there is so much game. The game is everywhere.
Yeah, it's 33 kills as well in this game.
Yeah, down to Sundisk, as Doran is going to get a nice knock up there on to the Aphelios, but his damage is actually quite ridiculous now with 3 items complete. The Ram comes on through just to take down Clear, as now Oner looking for the angle. Diablo still wanting with their plays, as Doran going to look for a knock up here, but doesn't quite have enough direction. There's the Shockwave, though, as Vikler picks it up. Wild Growth to keep Raptor alive as well, but Pays is free hitting. Diablo is frontline as he flashes on top of Pays, gets the big shield and will go down, but he takes the Jinx with him, and BNK, I think, have enough damage left in the tank. Doran is finally going to burn down, and Keria has to flash. 10 seconds until the Baron. Was a little late, but that one was perfect, and made sure that he went 1 for 1.
T1
is
somehow
still going to be able to get
point.
the Drake. Yeah, advantage, and Baron goes over to BNK, and it's not Soul. So this could mean that BNK can now use this Baron in order to get an insurmountable lead. There's 4 items on the Aphelios. Diablo is very scary, but now the ramp comes on through. They get the knock up, and he gets Wild Growth. Let's see whether Diablo can stay alive in this one. I think he might just be able to. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't quite work, and Raptor stands in front of the hook. Oner looks for the angle as Diablo gets so much health back, and Pays is going to melt as the Flame Splitter comes down. Clear sacrifices himself for his god, and his god is Diablo in this game.
Yeah, well, the 45, 1.5 kills per minute game here. This was a lot of game. This is the kind of game where when the Nexus explodes, you do truly say, GG.
Yeah, we might need to do that. Let's try and do the StarCraft thing. Sorry, the Korean caster thing as this Nexus goes down, because it absolutely deserves it. And BNK, what incredible play around the advantages that they found for themselves. They made this game their own, and there it is, GG!
I think T1 have a draft that, with nameplates on, you're like, oh god, that's horrifying. Like, they got Varus on patch 26.3, like, that doesn't seem allowed, that can't be okay, but I think the tools that...
So let's get into the Rift here for game number 2. I really do appreciate that one BNK fan that screeches every time. You know, they're just trying to even it out, because we know the T1 fans are just pretty loud. Here in LOL Park today.
In game 1, it was pretty insane.
Well, there's a great knock-up as the flash charm comes through. Oner is lit on fire, and that is first blood going over to the Jarvan. Vikler avoids the chains as Faker has stolen the ulti and will find the follow-up kill. Now Keria moving over, but is unable to get the headbutt over the wall. And does have flash, but did not want to invest it. So Faker's on the board. Oner is making his way in. Public execution goes wide, though, but the chains do connect. Good charm from Vikler, but I don't know whether he's out of dodge just yet, as he is going to get taken down. There is the Cataclysm, though, as now Oner stuck inside the circle. Teleports coming in, but they're turtle ports. And oh my goodness, the takedown from this Poppy as he just heroically... Try and challenge for this dragon. Kellen moving over. Does have the Keeper's Verdict available. Let's see whether he can use it. to guarantee some position. But there's the flash pulverize. He does get the ulti off, but it's only onto Keria, and he just dies. As a result, still Raptor's able to take the dragon. That could be important. Flags and drags gets himself out.
His flag and drag. Didn't have his flash, which was a big concern for looking for that contest on the dragon itself. This Faker.
There's a big old Cataclysm. Manages to get the ulti out of Vikla here, as we do have the teleport upgrading, but we don't see the charm. Still the Cataclysm comes in! That time as well. I think they knew just how narrow that window was. The flash forward from Clear looks to take down Doran and just barely misses it once again. But it's a win flash for flash and sends him home.
Sends him home, and he has his Dominus running. He can go over here and take some additional plate money and force Doran to TP. He gets to hold on to his. A huge going. There's no cross map, really. So T1 going to rotate Pays into the mid lane here. Yeah. Baker's going bottom side, but doesn't have TP, and I think it should just be free grubs here. And Vikla can hold this wave, and then they could swap him to the bottom lane and send the Sivir mid. As BNK, once again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's solid macro.
Well, Diablo is in a little bit of trouble. However, there's another Dominus as Raptor's going in, but so is Keria over the other side. But trading places not quite working out. Public execution onto the job, and as the Cataclysm comes down, he tries to get out, but he fails. And it's Oner that takes down his opposition. Kellen's flashing. They know that they have to get out of there, and Diablo has to flash as well, as now Faker has discovered the Poppy. And I don't know whether Kellen is going to be escaping this one. The charm is going to get avoided, and Kellen should be going down. It takes a bit of Kellen to take down a Poppy, but Faker is going to get him in the end. As Clear might just take this turret and got a solo kill onto Doran, I believe, in the top lane while that was all happening.
Yeah, finally he got the kill he's been looking for all game. Finally this time the margins were there. He does not have boots, by the way, still. Ends up killing the Rex side there. Takes so crisp, watch this.
Yeah,
he's just not going to let anything go wrong in this one, and we'll pick up the kill.
And so Rift Herald, in the meantime, is going to go over to BNK. That might help.
Anyways.
Yeah, Roy Charge comes in. Keria does have the ulti as Chains of Corruption does connect. And now Raptor well in amongst it. Public execution not quite going to work out, but even through the Unbreakable Will, it is going to be the cow going down. Great steadfast presence there, but Kellen, I think, is still going to get taken out as Faker is just way too big in this game. Took a lot to take down the Poppy, though, and there is a shutdown onto Diablo as Faker is going to fall finally. And now you've got Raptor riding this Rift Herald into all the crystalline overgrowth in the mid lane. That is going to be BNK taking out this outer turret in mid,
the second
getting
turret of the game.
More money.
Yeah, this is a really strong position here right now for BNK. The Sivir comp that they don't even necessarily need. It's pretty huge, but they are not set up to contest, and there's no TP for Vikla.
All right, now they're going to try and turn onto Raptor. There's the flash knock-up as Keeper's Verdict just gets rid of two of them.
Could look like, because it was a bit haphazard, but however.
All right, there's a knock-up onto Oner. As Chain's going to miss, Vikla now looking for a way to get in. Great Charm is going to connect, but the public execution is going to mitigate it completely, and down goes Raptor. Vikla should be following here as the auto is in the air from Pays, and they just wipe out the Fox Lady. That should be Baron, and oh dear. Oh,
yeah.
The game was there, it was on the hands, and now it's missing.
Yeah, I kind of was leading into, I'm a little bit concerned about how BNK are setting up because it's very haphazard because of things like this, right? It's a very scrappy composition that T1 have with Mbessa and Silas, and if you give them the opportunity, they will just smash in skirmishes, even with T1 haven't gotten.
Well, there is Dominuses happening all over the place here as Faker is fighting against Clear. Doesn't quite find the Chain Lash, but Cull the Meek not exactly doing exactly what it wants. As Faker gets flashed on here, Clear looks for the angle, and he gets sliced and diced!
The only way
Clear cleans him up!
The only way Clear wins that is buying enough time. And he's even getting the TP out.
Crocodile, man. Let's have a look at this one more time, as honestly, it wasn't like that. It was very close to Faker actually winning out on this trade.
6, 5, 4. He needs it so desperately, right? Gets the empowered Q, backs away, waits for his Fury, and waits for his W. Flashes on, gets the W, Qs him, and has enough damage there with the slice and dice coming up at the last possible second. Clears judgment, insane in this moment. And then takes the teleport out.
Yeah, out of BNK. Let's see whether Raptor can go for a bit of a steal as Keeper's Verdict just gets cancelled immediately.
Yeah, they just want to knock Oner away to steal. When that doesn't work, they just back off. They were just hoping for Keeper's Verdict into a little flag and drag action. Maybe they can get the punish.
Yeah, as Chains of Corruption connects onto Kellen, he just absorbs so much damage. And is now just not really going to be a factor here in this fight as Doran tries to save this turret. These minions just die so
Top laner has teleport.
Yeah, and we know that just the Crocodile is a dangerous one. Now there's a Jarvan there as well. Teleport's coming in, Cataclysm goes down, and now with this teleport coming through, Doran does have a large shield, but I don't know whether he's going to have it for very long. And in fact, it just immediately evaporates. He now has to tunnel his way out. And with On the Hunt, there is a chance that BNK can even catch up to this Rek'Sai, although Raptor is going to find it with the flash. Doran now gets a little bit of a knock-up, though, and does have the ulti back off cooldown, and Clear is there with the Ruthless Predator, and down goes the Rek'Sai. Fight, and the Dragon has already been started here by T1. Kellen looking for an angle. Vinkler dives in, gets the charm onto Faker, and then gets himself out. Faker steals away his ultimate, though, as now Diablo having to flash, but he'll be taken out as Pace snipes him from the back line. He'll get rid of the Poppy as well, and now Faker's popping off, getting those resets, and finally Clear comes back in, but he's alone. T1's team fighting just too good in the end, and it's only Raptor that lives to tell the tale.
Vikla's gambit of going in there, looking for Faker, absolutely does not pay off, and it's in that moment the rest of T1 get on top of Diablo. Doran gets on top of him. He's showed back up in the fight. The follow-up is easy, and T1 get cloud screen with your eyes right now is pretty bonkers, but it's still not going to... Okay, hold up. Diablo, no.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see is Diablo. I don't think he's going to be able to spell shield that one as Raptor looks to try and put Faker into the Cataclysm, and it does not work. This is game over, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot have a Sivir step that far forward. As Clear says, yes, in this game I was very fed, but unfortunately if my whole team dies, I cannot do it alone. That's going to be the ace, and T1 just go from winning a team fight to game over in the click of your fingers.
Yep, that's all it takes. And poor Diablo, he cleared that wave really hard.
He did.
But he could not clear the champions.
No. And now this makes more sense to me.
Yeah, also because Vikla's going to be able to play the Yone into the Anivia, it's pretty easy for Yone to kind of avoid Anivia's harass and the wall and stuff like that.
Completely different question. Let's get on to the Rift here for game number 3. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for our third game of this series. As Oner is going to put down the hide-on bush, and the hide-on bush is unfortunately going to be taken out. As, all right, Vikla sidesteps. No Flash Frost for Faker this time. 10 damage, baby.
There you go.
And
I think he's dead.
He's going to look for it. There's a twisted advance and the Arcane Smash! It's called Bramble Smash now, ladies and gentlemen. It hasn't been Arcane Smash for a very long time, as now Faker is looking to try and get that kill back. Oh, Raptor gets the level up! And he's able to stay alive. Look at that. Cool, calm, and collected in the PJs.
These lanes, the Rise is winning too.
Oh, okay. There's the ulti from Vikla. Finds Faker here, and that's a solo ball. Just knows. As meanwhile, we've got Clear in a bit of trouble here towards the top side of the map. Splash damage, not enough, and Keria blocks the volley. And the curtains are now getting called. Flash out there from Diablo as Raptor gets the interrupt. And Diablo, can you actually get any of the kills here as BNK looks to try and turn this around? If at first you don't succeed, try again. And there are no teleports to try and get under here. There's the high note, and that's the double kill for Kellen. As now Clear and Doran continuing to fight. Slashing Maelstrom comes in here as Clear looking to escape and is going to be able to do so with that Realm Warp. As Doran still looks for it, well, Clear doesn't have any minions to worry about, but the curtains have been called and the rest of T1 are here. Let's see whether the DDR is going to work.
Arrow coming.
As the slow comes on through, yes, the arrow is going to ascend. That does connect onto Keria. Fair bit of damage back, but Paze is still able to lock that one down. And yeah, that is just a little bit of an overloading of the top side of the map there for T1. And Diablo, in the meantime, just out goes Vikla. Doran is pretty scary. Slicing Maelstrom comes through, but the rest of BNK are making their way over. That's a solo. And so BNK not going to be able to do too much of anything at all without Vikla on the map. Man, Doran is kind of taking names.
Doran's kind of like, are we sure we lost game 1 to these guys? They keep kind of coming near me and I press R and they die. I'm not really doing anything skillful. I'm killing them. And Doran's just the punish guy today as we're going to see a fight.
Yeah, they're going to look for the angle here as the Encore does come on down. That is going to interrupt the engage, but Oner is already dead. Diablo gets so much of his health back with that surround sound and a huge shield from his barrier as well. That's Clear locking down the kill onto Keria. The flash from Faker really wanting to take down Diablo. but the Ashe is looking to try and kite. The beat drops, and he's down to the egg once again. Diablo stands strong, and BNK find another team fight.
Find you a support who watches Diablo like Kellen does.
Absolutely.
Man. Hey, he's got his Echoes of Helia online here, and he's going to pick up a bunch of extra range. Insane.
Really nicely played. And now, this outer turret in a bit of trouble as he procs the Q, and Diablo should be able to grab it. There it is.
I think we don't have a lot of game on our hands in this one.
Yeah, the game has drifted over to the other side as now Vikler is trying to get a little bit back here as Doran, another ulti comes on through. This time, Vikler out of range as he rebinds, but Oner is going to move on over. Let's see whether Vikler can at least kill the minion wave before he does go down.
BNK, I think it's Doran's birthday.
Yeah, I think so. That is going to be Vikler going down.
Doran's like, what are they doing? I'm getting confused.
I mean, he's been like 100% kill contribution top laner is not what I had on my bingo card.
As they are going to get this this Herald BNK on the other side of the map, so it's not a huge win for T1, but Doran is quite large, has TP, but obviously no ultimate, and there's no fight here in this one, so it is going to be a big objective going over. The mid turret is already... Let's try to go in here on the 4th dragon.
This isn't Soul, right, guys? I mean, Soul Point is still so incredibly powerful. BNK utilizing their 4,000 gold advantage in order to make sure that they pick that one up. Man, this is just a ridiculous kill. Seraphine. There's a knock-up onto Doran. Flash Twisted Advance comes on through as the Nature is grasping one more time. Ulti comes down, but Doran is able to buy a little bit of space. Still, the Kitty Cat comes down, and Vikler is able to lock that one up. There was also an arrow in the air. Let's see where he's going to go, as the teleport into the backline is going to come on through. BNK do manage to get here, but T1 have this Baron so incredibly low. Arrow going to connect. There is the Encore. That's the Baron secured, but can they keep themselves alive? As the Nature's Grasp comes down, and Oner is going to be the first one to die. Clear has now found Doran, and Doran's just going to die? A solo kill for the Rise, who has felt like an afterthought this game.
They don't have the wave anymore, so it will take a little bit longer, I suppose, as that top turret is also just going to go down to BNK as this Baron buff withers away. I think it was a good call from T1, and they had Doran on the flank to try to mitigate any sort of team fight.
Raptor looking to engage Cone his way in as Keria in a bit of trouble. Has to flash to get himself out of the way. Faker slowed down by the volley as Diablo's in the front line. Does get hit by that crit, but it is going to be Raptor now that's in a little bit of trouble. Look at that health bar, though. It's gigantic, and in goes Vikler, finding the ulti angle, and they just eviscerate Keria and get themselves out.
And Clear isn't even here. He is going to show up here on the flank now, but they're essentially doing this fight without him, and now Oner thinks he can get his buff.
And maybe Dagon was right this whole time. Maybe Raptor is just the greatest jungler ever. As Vikler is down very, very low. There's a slicing Maelstrom, but there's no follow-up onto Doran. And now the curtains are being called. Faker in a bit of trouble as Clear does have his Seraphs, and so the shield is going to help him.
And so we don't misquote Dagon. Dagon said he was top 3. If he wins this series, you know, he will be.
I was being a little facetious, you know, as now Faker is going to look for Diablo. He has the barrier, and down he goes to the egg. Pays is dead as well as the Q snipes him down. And there goes the Anivia. Keria cannot do anything. He's dead. It's a double for Diablo. And BNK, I think, are just going to march down this bottom lane and look to put an end to game number 3.
This was a very, very creative draft that I wasn't sure if we could trust, because it's just kind of unexplored territory, but they made it look absolutely broken. The coordination was great.
And with the Red Bull Baron power play, it looks like T1 is sponsoring Red Bull after all of that money, as finally Raptor does go down. This inhibitor turret is going to go as well.
Crazy Kennen, Wukong, Rakan, Wombo combo onto 5 people.
Yeah, Clear is about to actualize, though. He did just complete it, and the Rise has been basically a non-factor this entire game, but is all of a sudden incredibly terrifying. Actually has a gold lead against Doran, who was the most powerful member of his team. And speaking of gold lead, Oner actually does have one as well, which is kind of crazy. Arrow going to catch Keria in the middle of his grand exit, and Diablo just walks him down. Is it going to be enough, though, as they look for the curtain call, and Diablo just stands behind the tanky boys. The Wukong aren't able to do anything, and BNK just wipe out 2 already. Now Faker, Pays, and Doran, can they hold on to the base? That is the question. Slicing Maelstrom is there, and it's going to need to be massive. Clear takes matters into his own hands. There's the ulti from Vikler, and they just take down the cannon before Doran can do anything at all. And Clear is just tanking up. Nexus turrets doesn't seem to care too much at all as Diablo is peppering these ones down. Faker is discovered. The flash twisted advance there from Raptor is good as Keria has respawned already. Gets a nice double knock-up. But where is the damage? It is just absent here on T1. BNK's lead too large. And they will take down both Nexus turrets and the Nexus and look for match point. One more win from this team as Diablo goes complete beast mode in the enemy fountain. The Nexus is destroyed. And
so in this draft, you really only need to hit the Lucian. That's the main target. That is the main goal here. And T1 have all of the tools to kill Diablo that you could ever ask for in a draft.
Even with much more even footing in the draft. Let's get into it.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, we didn't have the Shriek in the fan chants for BNK this time around. We'll just have to see whether they lose because that wasn't there, or whether it is not actually a factor.
Atlas is looking at the stats.
Yeah, that's the stats that I care about. As Vikla finds a red card. There we go. Shout out to Reginald. You love to see it. Oh, that's a... Yes. See? Told you wanted to eat the Rocket's pace.
Yeah.
He just gets flashed on because his flash was down.
That was not
Diablo's
a favorable
looking
trade.
for another one, but it's going to let Keria live for the moment.
Slotted into Guma's spot, but he is absolutely having the series of his life, and they're drafting for him too in this one. Like, you know, this is BNK saying, we trust this guy, he's young, he's not that experienced just yet, hasn't played too many big best of fives like this. But we know that he is just not going to get nervous, he's not going to choke, he's going to perform. And
so BNK, they will get some advanced warning of the Rock moving over. Kellen spots him, there is the flash, but they catch the dash, there's the hook from Keria, and Diablo, he survives for a long time, but will be taken out. There's the T1 answer.
Pretty difficult to dive here.
Overgrowth going to be taken down. Here's the gate to come on through as Vikla right underneath the turret will get knocked up as Paze is going to be the target, but he takes a long time to kill. Raptor just tanks it up. And he will be A-OK. Wildcard's not enough to take down Keria, and the Rock is moving in. Faker there as well. Walks over control vision as Diablo is still trying to get more kills. As Faker goes between worlds, but immediately he's CC'd. Keria gets the Titan's Wrath as there's the ulti from Oner, but the flash out from Diablo's fantastic. Still, he's going to go down, and down goes the Troll as well. T1! They are looking for some silver scrapes, and if they keep playing like this, they may find it. Flash, gold card. Yeah, we're going to see that in live. Vikla just grabs a solo bolo.
Oh my god, Atlas, that was...
All right, so I guess it's not that even. Sorry, not that T1 favored. It's in fact...
Before this Yunara becomes a bigger threat later on, you know, Cull is running here for Paze.
Ooh, Vikla goes back and completes some items here at the same time. Faker looks to try and grab that plate, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so as Diablo's dashing in. Hook is not going to connect there as the fire kick comes down. Has to invest the ultimate, does Keria, as the Drake is going to be taken here. Now Oner is looking to try and pick up the kill onto Clear. That Meganar is coming through though, and he elects... Oh, he didn't even have the ulti, so never mind. Oner wasn't able to get too much of a follow-up, and there is a big difference between a Malphite ganking without ult and a Malphite ganking with ult.
Yes, and also completed, so the penalty not going to apply that Ox was talking about before, and they're going to try to kill Doran and take this turret off the map. Paze cannot impact this at all.
Yep, Nara is just going to be thrown out for fun there from Clear, and I don't think Doran is going to be able to do much of anything at all. There's the culling. That's going to take him down, and now they're looking for the turret here as well. That'll be first turret blood if they're able to get there, and you can see Paze is so far away from that bottom outer. And when you group up to take turrets on this patch, it's actually better than what it was previously.
Absolutely. And there is a smiling Stevie Max somewhere because we haven't used this term in a while, but it's starting to feel like Funnolution in this one as they send him to the top lane. He just get hit by the ultimate and then shoot him and kill him as well.
Oh no. There's the house,
Faker.
And the Nara's going to hit this time around. I think Clear could have done that by himself, as now Paze taking so much damage here from Diablo, who's got a Kraken Slayer, now building towards his Essence Reaver. This Lucian is getting very frightening as the fire kicks are coming on through. Paze going to get interrupted as Raptor comes on over to clear out vision. And BNK, they just stayed right on this front foot, and it looks like they are never stepping back. T1, speaking of which, they're going to have to.
They can't do anything here. I mean, at least they're getting the cross on the Jax on the top side, but it's being matched by Gnar bottom side, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 in turrets. They already got the top side turret with the roam up from Diablo. And so this is a big trade up again for BNK. The macro really good off of just a pick onto that Aurora. Faker's Aurora now 1 and 2 in this game. massively far behind because of the passive of that Rod of Ages. Like, yeah, Dragon's up. Don't care about that. It's Ocean Dragon. I already got the 2 real ones. I'm going to drop my Herald on your top inner and maybe even going to crash on your inhibitor turret.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be a charge onto the inhib. As now Raptor moves in. Keria is there with Paze, but the hook is going to go wide. Fire Kick comes on through as well, but it is Raptor taking a lot of damage. Now the Subjugate comes on through and they turn onto Vikla. He goes between worlds, getting comboed down and will be taken out. It takes a while, but he eventually does go down as now Doran gets into the mix. Raptor looking a little worse for wear, but stays alive for the moment, and now the pillar is in. There's the counter-strike. They land on top of Kellen, but he is not the primary target, and Clear getting into that backline. Down goes Paze, and without the there is so much damage missing, and now it's Diablo's turn as he flashes out of the counter-strike, and Faker is going to get mopped up as well. It should be a triple as he dashes after Faker to pick it up.
And I think BNK
cannot be stopped.
I think they might have just punched their ticket, Atlas. Unreal! No one predicting this team to win it. No one predicting this would go even 5 in T1.
Got 3 done, so they're looking for this. There is the engage from Oner, though. They're looking to try and get on top of Diablo, but with Kellen, he survives for such a long time, but finally, he's taken down the flash from Raptor, though. No 80 carries left on the Rift, but Vikla is in melee range with Oner and Doran, and it's now Doran's turn to go insane. Still, he's able to get himself out of there. A 1-for-1 as both of the ADs are just gone.
Yeah, this was the best possible scenario for T1. He has to be committed, and Raptor is just soloing this. I think this is just Ocean Soul over to BNK.
Yeah, and Ocean Soul actually kind of insane on a Trundle who just likes to have his health bar bounce around. Yep, and now Keria is dealing with a culling, and that is a back massage that he does not like to see. Another unstoppable force comes down, but where's the follow-up? Faker does find it here, and Diablo is going to get taken out. Doran now going to dive in on top of Raptor, who's looking so difficult to kill, especially with Kellen alongside the flash from Clear, but he doesn't find the Gnar angle, and now a gold card comes in. They're looking to try and stop Doran, and there is the Gnar finally, but it's just not going to do enough, as Kellen cannot keep all of his carries alive, especially with Diablo on the floor. Still, Clear is there. He hits Mini Gnar. He's like, I'm the AD carry now, and I guess he is.
The wallet's watch on. No flash for Oner. He has his
ult. Clear's going in. There's the gate. It's now Paze. Oh, he's too far forward. Clear looking for the angle. Look at that Gnar bar. Still, he has to get ulted by Oner to make sure that they have the peel. And Oner might be a hero. He has saved his AD carry, but he has to sacrifice himself. That means the jungle is dead, and the Baron should go over to BNK.
Yeah, this was a desperate situation for T1 no matter which way you look at it. They wanted to get in there, look for some sort of engage with BNK. Old BNK probably just holds Baron and tries to
really change the state of this game. This large minion wave. What the heck was that damage?
Pretty unreal.
That's a Lich Bane proc with some Crystalline Overgrowth, I guess. That tower just dies.
There's no TP for Faker. There's no TP for Doran. There's only one ward they could use to try to flank anyways. They just have to wait this out, but it's 2 more minutes. This should be the beginning of the end, barring a huge mistake. Some miracle flash ult from Oner onto Diablo with follow-up. They're just going to play it slow. They're going to play it safe, and T1 fans pray they make that error.
This is crazy, though, as Keria, he goes in, he gets pillared. There's another Destiny to come forward as Keria looking very worse for where Vikla decides not to gate just yet, finally pulls the trigger as the gold card connects onto Faker. Now Clear finds him with the Gnar. He tries to go between worlds, but unfortunately, he goes to the world that nobody wants to go to with a gray screen. As Oner, he's going to get turned on as well and eaten by Raptor. Is this just the end of the game? Is this just the end of the series? Has BNK done it? It was only 3 best of 5s between these organizations, and BNK are going to even that scoreline as there's the flash onto the fountain, obviously, there from Diablo and BNK FEARX. They will be going to Hong Kong, and they are going up against Gen G for that first seed position.